A few years ago, a standard G.I. Joe classified figure like Scarlet Duke, or even one of their bigger bucks and characters like Roadblock, was $19.99. Now, newer standard releases like the Range Viper, which is an army builder, or the Mistress Armada, they're all around $27.99. And on a premium side, what started with a deluxe Snake Eyes at $39.99 has turned into products like Shipwreck vs. Cadet around $64.99 and the Clutch and Vamp Mark II at $109.99. So yeah, G.I. Joe Classified has gotten really expensive over time, which made me get really selective. So I'm going to show some of the receipts and some of the facts of these price increases over time. And also I'll reveal by 2030 exactly how much will a basic G.I. Joe Classified figure cost if they keep going down this greedy road. What is good, everybody? Articulated Ninja here, and I hope y'all having a nice, peaceful, chill day, just like me. But I was just reflecting, and I just want to get straight into it, no fluff. At the launch in 2020, standard figures like Scarlet, Roadblock, and Duke were $19.99. By 2022, figures like Storm Shadow, Spirit, Cobra Officer, they started to show up for around $22.99. Then the line settled around $24.99 for a lot of their basic releases, right? And now that $24.99 is now $27.99 for now modern standard releases and army builders like the Range Viper. So standard pricing basically went from $19.99 to $22.99 to $24.99 to $27.99.
What is going on around here?
That is an $8 jump, or about 40% on a regular single figure. And here's where things get interesting with so-called deluxe figures, right? This is where the entire game changes, because that 40% markup, that's already a lot, right? But in 2020, Snake Eyes, a deluxe figure, launched at $39.99. Then we had Dr. Mindbender. He was a deluxe. He came in at $41.99, and then Scrap Iron for around $44.99. At first, that looked like normal deluxe price increases, but then I feel like the whole line kind of just went in every single direction, and that deluxe price point went everywhere. You got releases like the Trench Viper, the Cobra Fortification for $44.99, Steel Corp Sentry, and the Modular Defense Post for $59.99, and now Shipwrecked versus Cadet at $64.99. And then we have the Cobra Commander with the Throne for $69.99. So instead of one deluxe tier, you now had like a ton of different premium tiers, all with these different types of deluxe figures and deluxe prices. It's hard to even tell what a deluxe figure is nowadays, and if it's even worth being a deluxe figure. And now if we focus on the forest and not just the tree, right? This is where collectors really start to feel the pain. This is where I felt the pain. G.I. Joe Classified is no longer just a standard figure or a deluxe figure. Now it's more like a standard $27.99, a mid-deluxe figure in the 40s, a premium deluxe figure in box sets in the 50s and 60s, and then we have larger items like Grand Slam at $84.99 or Clutch and Vamp Mark II at $109.99. That's not one price increase. That's a whole new structure with a whole bunch of different prices all across the board, because we don't just have standard and deluxe. We have standard, then the XL deluxe, the medium deluxe, the medium deluxe. It's just everywhere. So yes, G.I. Joe Classified got more expensive, but the real change is that Hasbro turned it from a simple action figure line into this multi-tier collector pricing system. And once you see that ladder, the whole thing starts to make sense. And in my opinion, because they introduced so many different types of deluxes and price points, they got to slowly increase price points all across the board easier with less pushback than, let's say, the Marvel Legends team would have received from their target audience. Classified got to do it because they put out so many different deluxe figures all across the board. And I'm not even going to get into the price of their collaborations or things they actually do have to pay a royalty fee on, like Lara Croft, because the diehard Hasbros are just going to shout in the comments for things like that, and they're just going to try to justify the price increases when it comes to Hasbro's collaborations and just scream royalties. So I'm keeping everything in this video primarily focused on just Classified, where Hasbro owns everything. Just look at the Vamp. The MSRP was $100, $99.99, and it was released in 2024. Now the Mark II version, essentially the same product, and switching up some accessories. The same product 2 years later for $10 more with an MSRP of $109.99. If we keep this same math going, the next repainted Vamp in 2028 should have an MSRP of $119.99. When Classified first dropped, I purchased everything. My whole life I waited for a 6-inch scale G.I. Joe line. I told my wife multiple times I wish one existed, so when one finally did, I was all in. I did all the extra stuff, man. I waited in lines at Target at 6 a.m. I did all the extreme things like bothering employees to bring out cases from the back, looking up UPC numbers on my phone to see how many the store showed that they had in stock. I was hiding figures in the aisles that weren't street dated yet because I knew they was going to give me a problem at self-checkout. If they did give me a problem at self-checkout, I would just walk away with the item versus letting them take it back, and I would hide it in the aisles. All extreme shit. I was super excited. I love G.I. Joe Classified, and I waited my whole life for a 6-inch line, right? But as time went on, G.I. Joe Classified, the same line I praised for being 10 times better than Marvel Legends during its inception, looks like it's just gonna be the new Marvel Legends in terms of greed. And don't be in the comments talking about inflation, looking for reasons to bend over backwards as a consumer and make excuses. Is inflation a contributing factor? Of course, yes. But is it the biggest contributing factor? Hell no. Far from it. When companies like Storm Arena are giving us import level figures with accessories, multiple faces, multiple hands, flight stands, blast effects for $34.99 with import level durometer plastic and quality. Then we have SH Figure Arts, who loves to overprice things. They have the best selection line that is also a $35 line per standard figure with extra hands, extra faces, accessories. And Classified is now $27.99 at their cheapest. That is the cheapest MSRP for their standard based figure, which has less moving parts and less pieces, less engineering in the joint system with gummy weapons, as opposed to those import companies that I just brought up for just a few dollars more. Am I going to buy a Classified for $27.99 or $30 when I can get an import style figure for $35? Yeah, no. I will pay the extra $6 or $7 and buy that import with higher quality. And that's the problem Hasbro doesn't realize, is as they increase prices, they now enter into new markets they never had to compete in the first place. No one was comparing a Classified at $19.99 to an import at $35. But now, since they want to get closer to $30 at $27.99, yeah, that comparison starts to look a lot more accurate to me. Marvel Legends wants to do maximum figures for $50 or $60 if it's a little bit bigger. Cool. You have now entered into competing with Mafex, Figure Arts, LPZZ, and these other import companies. Also, I'm facts, not feelings here, but feelings wise, I still love Classified. But the Hasbro's using inflation as an excuse, where is that excuse for companies like Valiverse still dropping their most basic figures and army builders at $19.99? 20 bucks. They're still at that price point in 2026. Where's the excuse? Are you saying inflation didn't affect Valorverse as a company? Or like I said, Storm Arena and some of these other companies putting out import level action figures? And yeah, Valorverse also sells figures for $24 and $27.99, but they still offer army building products for $19.99 across the board within multiple brands, helping people army build. And those $19.99 products still come with accessories, weapons in 2026. Who else is doing that? Classified army builders, you're not finding cheaper than 27, basically 30 bucks. Classified, you are a military line. Army building is how you guys survive. Go ask Woody 222. How are other companies offering army builders in 2026 for $19.99, but the biggest, Hasbro, can't? How are other companies in 2026 still selling action figures for $19.99 like inflation doesn't exist? How? If it's such a big problem, how? Hasbro says talking points like tariffs, inflation, economy, then all their little fanboys eat it up and regurgitate those same talking points as if other companies are still not putting out whole action figures with accessories for the same price as if we're still in 2020. Even your retro line, which is pretty bare bones with paint apps and accessories, is still $27.99. The facts are, classified, standard, and deluxe have shot up by over 40% since release. You're gonna blame an almost 50% markup on the economy and inflation when companies out here using the same or similar plastic and similar joint system are still releasing figures for $19.99 in 2026?
I heard that. I wish I didn't hear that, but I just heard that.
Hasbro, what's the excuse other than greed?
When's one of you going to step forward with a pair of bollocks and give me some fucking honesty?
And if Hasbro wants to release these so-called deluxe figures for $42.99 or $44.99, $45 for a basic repaints like Action Man, I might as well lean over to the military imports like Acid Rain. Look at the detail and paint apps and articulation there. Hasbro cannot compete at all. But that's right, they now have to compete since they want to enter these price ranges, right? I love classified, but it sucks I'm now putting them in a similar category as Legends when it comes to these markups on reused parts. Charge more, fine, but make sure you increase the value and you give more as well. But that's not what's happening. Value is staying the same while price just skyrockets. 40 to 50% is crazy. Classified will always be my baby and I will always pick up something here or there. But the facts are clear. The charts are here. If you disagree with me, that's fine, but you're not disagreeing with me. You're disagreeing with the data and the facts and that 40+% markup that it clearly shows. I see the data and the facts, and regardless of my feelings, I just adjust my feelings and my conclusions based on it. The military market right now has a lot of options at all different price points. Hasbro, it is no longer you and just Valorverse. You got all these price points for your figures and deluxes, from 27 being the cheapest to 100 plus, when your customers can also spend that same range on Acid Rain, Monster Force, Damn Toys, Crazy Figure, Patriot Force, Skeletron, military lines popping up left and right. But you know I come with receipts and facts. Just let me know what you guys think. Is classified starting to be very greedy, or is inflation and the economy the biggest culprit here? For me, I'm just seeing greed, man. I'm seeing all these price points all across the board. Some deluxe figures don't even deserve to be deluxe figures. They should just be standard releases. But by slapping the deluxe label, you get to increase the price point. Same way Legends slaps the maximum sticker on it, they get to increase the price point. Action Man is literally just out back for almost $50. We ain't even gonna go there. That's too easy. Even though I'm whatever you want to call me, a shill, a fanboy of Storm Arena, Savage Crucible, Acid Rain, and Valorverse, I am still always going to love Classified. What it started, what it represented to me. I mean, look at this Kim Kardashian figure they dropped. I absolutely love it, right? But I am forced to be selective, because I don't see the increase in value correlate with this increase in price. This Kim Kardashian is basically the same plastic, same accessory, same everything for the most part, same articulation as Scarlett from 2020, but she's almost $10 more. Not to mention, you're a military line. Army builders are huge, man. You should have some $19.99 options, especially if other companies are able to do it. These guys should be able to do it as well. Even if they want to go to $21.99 or whatever the case is, something is better than nothing. Everything with them starts at $27.99. And if you keep the same math going by 2030, the average standard army builder classified figure with the least amount of accessories, the least amount of paint apps, similar to their retro line, that they will offer will be at $35.20. And that's the cheapest the line will offer if we continue on this path. These are facts, not feelings. Do the math. By 2030, if this markup continues going the way that it goes, this retro card back figure with bare minimum paint apps will be $35.20. Make that make sense. All I see is greed. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm interested to read what you guys have to say in the comments below, because I'm sure a lot of you guys are fans just like I am. Is it primarily inflation or mismanagement and greed? But anyways, I cannot wait to see a lot of you guys face to face in person at my convention in New Jersey, where you know we're gonna have vendors with classified figures for the low. Mint on card and loose, we are gonna have it all at Toy Unity Expo.
You already know, you already know. It's that toy convention time. Exclusives, yeah. I'm gonna make them mine. Toy Unity Expo, #1 toy convention. Let's go. Hey. Toy Unity Expo, mint on card or loose for the low. Hey. Toy Unity Expo, old school heads, new kids. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Toy Unity Expo, we just here to collect, let it echo. Savage Crucible, yeah, where they at? Marvel Legends, got them in the back, got Valorverse action force, yes. And G.I. Joe classified, don't stress, Storm Arena, check, imports, check. Yeah, we got it all at Toy Unity, bet we trade stories like we trade these figs. We at the best toy convention, doing it big. Drama we ain't about, leave it at your house. We got Do a Taste Studios here, no doubt. Collectors just wanna collect, no drama, no stress. Toy Unity Expo, #1 toy convention, let's go. Hey. Toy Unity Expo, mint on card or loose for the low. Hey. Toy Unity Expo, old school heads, new kids, let's go. Let's go. Toy Unity Expo, we just here to collect, let it echo.